So this is the PMP, authorized PMP exam prep course. And naturally, PM Training School is a authorized training partner. They are a premier authorized training partner. And that is the capacity in which we are conducting this training. If you are already a CAPM certified, naturally CAPM, some people do CAPM first who have lesser experience and then they go for PMP. So if at all you have already had a course with us on CAPM and had already been certified as CAPM, then welcome back. Otherwise, there is no prerequisite. CAPM is not a prerequisite. You can directly go for a PMP. So are you coming through a CAPM path or you are coming directly?
I'm coming directly. I
Okay,
didn't know there was a CAPM, so I just went straight for PMP.
okay, okay, wonderful. Okay, and naturally, we'll talk about what should be the criteria to appear in the exam, and I am sure you would be fulfilling that. There is a requirement of some project management background and experience, some education requirements, some work experience, and if you fulfill those things, you can directly apply for project management professional certification exam. This course is meant to prepare you for that exam, right? And this course is developed by PMI. These presentation slides you are seeing, they are actually given to us by PMI. So this is a completely authorized training. Uh, as far as I am concerned, my name is Suhail Iqbal, and I am for last couple of years I am conducting trainings, facilitating trainings with the PM Training School, and I do conduct trainings in all spheres of PMI certifications like project management, program management, portfolio, business analysis, risk management, and so on and so forth. So all of those areas I do conduct trainings, and I have got students all over in all the areas and all the fields. Anyways, this is the most popular course we conduct, PMP, and naturally we have got a maximum number of students coming for this training. As far as I am concerned, I am currently located in Pakistan. We are 3 hours behind you, right?
Oh, thank you for joining me so early in your morning.
No, it's not a problem. It is 7 o'clock. I keep conducting classes all the time, late night, early morning, no problem for me. So these are my contact details. You can even get in touch with me through LinkedIn, Facebook, or WhatsApp. I think WhatsApp would be a good idea because through that we can uh, keep you updated what is happening and what is about the next session. Because email sometimes we skip reading and sometimes things happen. Anyways, as far as I am concerned, I hold 35 plus years of engineering and project management experience. For last over 25 plus years, I have been an educator and facilitator. I have been training people in universities, in professional trainings and all that. So I have got ample experience in training as well as in the field of project management. And I hold all the trainer level certifications from PMI and other organizations. So I am a instructor for PMP by PMI, for DASSM, DASM, and all other certificates. They don't have all the badges right now. They have not created a badge for other certifications, but I do train in all of those areas. Before we can proceed ahead, I would like to get introduced to you. What about you? Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I'm Lalaine Chen. You can call me Lala. I'm based in Manila. I'm currently working for PNG. I've been in the company for 16 years, doing different types of roles from projects to operations, also service management. I graduated with a degree of computer science, and at least the work I've done in PNG is focus on for 15 years. It was focused on IT, specifically master data management.
Mhm.
In my current role for the past year is a client manager for R&D for R&D teams and quality assurance teams.
Okay. That's
So
very nice. Very nice to know. Uh,
so
okay.
hopefully I think I cover hopefully I should cover all of the requirements you have here, since in the past, at least in my previous
Okay.
15 years, I've been working on a lot of projects.
How long have you been working in project management?
Um, 15 years, 15
Oh,
years.
that is big. So
So,
probably yes, of course, you go for PMP, but at the
mhm,
same time, I consider that you are even qualified to go for the next higher level certifications like program management professional or even portfolio management professional. But you do this course, and if you are interested, uh, I can take you on that journey as well because uh, that is a higher level certifications. The next level is program management, and the next level is portfolio management. But for now, we will restrict ourselves to the project management professional certification. And naturally, you said that you fulfill this criteria. There are two types of people who can apply for project management professional. One are those who are graduate with 4 years degree, and then there are people who are not graduates and they just hold a high school diploma. So I assume you are in the first category. Must be a graduate.
yep.
Yeah. So for you, it is only 36 months of experience leading projects, and that is around 3 years.
Okay, okay.
You don't need 15 years of experience. You just need to show 3 years of experience, and PMI will accept your application. You must have attended some training on project management for around 35 hours. Or if you are already a CAPM certified, you don't need this training at all. But anyways, you are not a CAPM, so I understand that this course will give you 35 hours of project management training or education, and ultimately your criteria is complete. Anyways, for your knowledge, if someone around you who is not a graduate and they think they can't appear in PMP exam, you can tell them that even if you are not a graduate, you can go for PMP exam. You just have to have more experience. That is about 60 months of experience, and that is the only difference. That 60 months mean that they should have at least 5 years of experience. And for you, it is just 3 years of experience. But
Okay.
anyways, that is not a big deal. So this is the basic criteria for appearing in the exam. So out of that slide which we just saw, you may like to answer this question. One of the PMP eligibility requirement is 35 hours of project management education oblique training or CAPM certification. Is it right or wrong?
Um, the the CAPM is not necessarily required, right? What is required is the 35 hours.
35 hours, yes. But either you should have 35 hours or you should have CAPM certification,
Okay, okay,
right?
okay.
So this statement is
It's
correct.
correct.
Another statement, anybody applying for PMP certification can have an experience of 36 months leading projects that could be overlapping. Now, this I did not discuss, but I want to see what do you think about it. Should these 36 months be overlapping experience?
Wait, so does that mean that I can, if I have two projects running at the same
Yeah,
time,
yeah, yeah.
they're like, I will just times two, times two that, mm, yeah, yes, is that or no?
Actually, PMI does not allow
Mm.
the parallel experience because they think that a project manager can concentrate on one project at a time. Even if you are doing two projects at a time, it will be counted as one. The overlap period will only be counted towards one project. So
Oh,
overlapping is not allowed for the eligibility.
okay, okay.
If you have two or three projects going on simultaneously, you could only show one out of them at a time.
Okay, okay.
So the answer is no.
Okay, okay.
There is a little video for you to understand the project economy going on in the world. I will just switch on the audio and you can listen to this, and then we can proceed ahead.
As we adapt to new ways of working and prepare for future disruption, organizations will see a growing need for skilled project managers. The PMI 2022 Jobs Report showcases emerging sectors and trending industries where project leaders can find opportunities to drive growth and innovation in every region of the globe. Countries in the Asia-Pacific region expect their economies to grow in 2022. Meanwhile, talent is in high demand in many countries and industries. While China's economy has experienced a slight slowdown, a number of factors should contribute to increased project activity, including consumer spending increases and China's energy transition plan. Supply chain disruption and rising energy prices, along with rapid digitalization, are driving an increased demand for project professionals in Europe, especially in IT. The current conflict in the region will have long-term humanitarian and economic consequences that will require response. There has been a spike in demand throughout Latin America for project managers, particularly in the technology and manufacturing sectors. Rebounding oil pricing, government investment in high-profile megaprojects, and international events like Expo 2020 Dubai and the 2022 FIFA World Cup promise to reinvigorate the region's economy and need for project managers. The Great Resignation and supply chain problems have put job seekers in high demand in the US and Canada as companies look toward automation and digitization to protect against future disruption. Despite the pandemic, the global demand for products manufactured in South Asia has continued to increase over the past 2 years. As a result, companies are willing to invest more in project managers with strong innovation and leadership skills. Nearly a third of global aid, roughly $32 billion, is spent in Africa, and that's fueling new development jobs across the region, up to 45% of which will need project talent. The demand for project talent is high around the world. Are you ready to take your career to the next level?
So actually, that is the story that project management is a hot topic. There is a lot of demand and it is rising all the time. It is continuously rising. It is evolving. New ways of doing the project management are being introduced all the time. And naturally, that is a very good choice to pursue a career in the field of project management. Anyways, for the purposes of your project management professional exam, you have to prepare yourself in 3 areas. We call it PMI talent triangle. Talent triangle, it has got 3 vertices. People, people means the power skills are the soft skills like leadership, conflict management, and things like that. So a good project manager should have excellent power skills. 42% of exam focus is on power skills. Then the process of doing the project, that is the way of working. How do you do the project? Maybe you're doing them in a conventional predictive manner, or you're doing it in IT like agile, or maybe some kind of a hybrid in between. So that is your way of working. Whichever method you choose, whichever approach you take, you will have accordingly developed a technical understanding of how to do things in that method. Third, and this area contains around 50% of exam questions. Therefore, it is probably the most important. But naturally, some people think that this is all about project management. No, this is just the 50% of project management. 42% is people skill, and 8% is business environment, which means a business acumen. How do you understand your project is linked to the overall strategy of the organization and the business value. That is extremely very important to understand. Many project managers do not understand anything beyond the project. They should have a clear understanding why are they doing this project and how does it serve the organization in the long run. That is your business acumen. So you will get around 8% questions from there, but far and wide, I would say business acumen is a great characteristic. This is the base on which everything else is built on. If you understand that and you follow that alignment with the organizational strategy and business value, probably you are going to be very successful. Anyways, this is not only for the exam. These three vertices, the PMI triangle, this is applicable to everything you do in project management. If you are exercising a project, you will have to exercise all of these three different skills. If you are kind of trying to, you have been certified as a PMP and you want to renew it, you have to show your skills in these three areas to get a renewal of your PMP certification. So this is really very important. From PMI perspective, everything revolves around the PMI talent triangle: power skills, way of working, and the business acumen. Then there is a thing called PMP exam content outline. Are you aware about it? No. Actually, this is the syllabus. This is a list of all the topics which a project manager should be aware about. It is a comprehensive list of all the topics and titles which you should understand and you should prepare for your PMP exam. Actually, you could refer to the standard for PMI, for project management, currently is a guide to the project management body of knowledge, which is in 7th edition right now. And maybe in a couple of years, we will be seeing the next 8th edition. But right now, what is applicable is the 7th edition, and that is the standard globally recognized for project management. Well, naturally, you will have to study that. You will have to understand that completely. But that is not from where all of your exam is going to be. If you want to prepare for your exam, you have to look at the exam content outline. You can download this document from PMI website, and this document actually gives you a complete list of all categories and all titles and a brief description of each one of them. So you should prepare yourself accordingly as if you don't miss out on any topic. That means the items listed in exam content outline may coincide with the standard, but they may refer to things which are not even mentioned in the standard, and you as a project manager should be able to understand all of those topics. That is the purpose of this training, that we will discuss almost anything and everything which is included in the examination content outline. So the relevant ECO content appears at the end of each topic. As we go on with our training, at the end of each section, we will discuss that these are the ECO content titles we have covered in this topic, right? So I'll be showing you that time and again, but I would strongly recommend that you download the PMP exam content outline for PMI from PMI website. And if you like, I can show you that on the PMI website as well. But that is something you should keep always current and in front of you, as if you know whatever you have understood and whatever you need to study further. You can just keep ticking that this item I understand, this item I understand, and which items you have never heard about, then you have to put in a special effort to understand that. I don't want you to be an expert of everything, but at least you should have an introductory level knowledge. You should not And none of the titles should be strange to you. You should be able to define what it is.
Okay.
So
And
yeah, yes,
just
please.
just to ask us, Suhail, um, is it the January 2021 version of the examination of the ECO? Because I'm trying to search it now. Is that
They
the
keep revising. They keep revising the standard as well as the ECO.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So ECO is revised after every 5 to 7 years. Standard is revised after every 4 years. So whenever they revise any one of these items, the examination may change. So currently,
Um,
what you are going to appear for PMP exam is according to the latest exam content outline and the latest standard, which is the seventh edition.
okay, okay.
So
Okay,
all the content I will be discussing with you is actually from the seventh edition.
okay, okay. So it's okay. I'll look for it later.
Yes, of
The
course.
first one that came up is the 2021 version, so that may not be the
Yeah, of
latest.
course. In 2021, they changed the exam. And after
Yeah.
that, we started doing that on seventh edition.
Okay, okay. Understand. Thank you so
So
much.
ECO was created by a global selection of PMI members who hold the PMP certification and work in diverse industries. I mean, there is a representation of project managers from all over the world. They were all PMPs and they sat down together to decide what all should be included in the examination content outline. And that is how it is revised after every 5 to 7 years. It includes what they think you need to know to do the job, including experience and broader business concepts. So naturally, we will address all of those things. But ECO, as I said before, you should have handy with you as if you can always refer back to it all the time. As far as the examination application is concerned, how do you apply for that? How do you do this course? And how do you ultimately, appear in the exam? And ultimately, when you become a PMP certified, this is the whole journey shown on this chart. First of all, you are right now at the stage of doing the training. That is number one step. This is supposed to be a 35 hours training, but I am very open about it. I do understand that there are so complicated and critical uh, topics which you need to understand. I take it as a discussion, and if at all it takes more time than we have scheduled for it, I don't mind. It is all your convenience. If you want to spend more time with me, I will be more than happy. But
Thank you.
I will ensure that whatever time we spend together, I transfer all the knowledge in a very healthy way to you, right? So, if at all you want me to be more deliberate, do let me know. I will explain things in more detail. We can have discussions. We can be really very comfortable about it, and I can assure you, at the end of the course, you will be very comfortable with all of these concepts. Anyways, once you have done that, you can then apply for the PMP certification application, that is PMP eligibility application, which is whatever the eligibility criteria I told you. If you think that you fulfill that, naturally, after doing those 35 hours, this one requirement which was not already completed will be completed. That means that is the time when you can uh, submit your application for your PMP exam. Uh, but one thing is the third step. You, if you are a PMI member, you get a rebate on your exam fee, right? So I would suggest that before you submit your application, you should become a PMI member, right? You should become a PMI member and then submit your application. That would be a better approach. So you can switch point number 2 with 3. First get the membership and then submit your application. Anyways, after you submit your application, PMI will actually get back to you in a couple of days and let you know that your application has been received, and we confirm that. And broadly speaking, if there is no syntax error or no broad mistake, they will say, okay, let us go ahead with it. Now, what they can do is they have another process which is called audit process, and uh, they select some of the 10% of the applicants at random for auditing their application. And that is not, if you get an audit, that does not mean that you did something wrong or PMI has any doubt on your experience, but they just have selected you and they want certain confirmations like your educational certification, like your job experience and that things like that. So that can all be done online, and you, in your PMI application, you fill in your experience in, and you also provide the contact details of the people under whom you were working. So PMI can directly get in touch with them, and if there is an audit, then they will contact those people and they will provide their feedback online.
And
That is called audit.
okay, sorry Suhail to interrupt. I will get informed, correct? Because I need to tell people that is somebody from PMI, or PMI will contact you about questions, because I don't want them getting a random message and they will ignore it.
No. They will not physically be getting in touch with them. They would be sending an email. You will also get an email whenever PMI, receives your application or things like that. But when if they select you as for the audit, they will send you all the details about the audit, and you can contact those people and tell them that kindly go to this link and fill in, just like you have introduction letter, fill in this form and submit it to PMI. Once they do that, your audit is completed. There is no big deal about it.
Okay, okay.
But yes, of course, I do understand they should be aware that they may get this kind of contact.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, then it comes to your preparation. Naturally, this training is definitely part of your PMP exam preparation, but you need to. This is a very complicated exam, very difficult exam. There are a lot many things in it, so it is just not sufficient that you attend the course and on the next day you go and sit in the exam. I will not recommend that. You have to concentrate and look down on your notes, study for some time, do some self-study, soul searching, prepare yourself, be confident, and only when you are confident enough you can go for the exam, right? So give yourself some time after the course, maybe around a month, for your own preparations. You could do that by a self-study, or maybe if there are a group of people around you who are preparing for the PMP exam, you people can do some group study, and maybe you can do that. And anyways, I am available. I am providing you the coaching, and I will be able to provide you answers to any questions you have at any point in time, right? So that is part of your preparation for the exam. So generally you must take around 1 month, but actually when PMI approves your application, they will give you a period of one complete year from your application acceptance onwards, and you can apply, you can sit in the exam at any time. But again, coming back to my point, I don't want you to delay it any further, because after the training and after the preparation, when you are really very fresh, that is the very right time to uh, write the exam, right? So 1 month is a very appropriate time. But if you think you are very busy or you are having difficulty in understanding certain concept, maybe you can take 2 months or 3 months, but don't stretch it any further. 1 month is a very good bet. You can very comfortably prepare. After this course, take 1 month and prepare for the exam. Once PMI has audited your application, and even if it is not, they do not audit it and they accept your application, they will ask you to submit your payment for the exam. So whatever that payment is, you make the payment to the PMI, and then they will issue you a eligibility letter. And in that letter, they will provide details where you can go for the exam, how can you book the exam, and all that. Actually, PMI conducts these exams through a third party, which is called VUE, Virtual University Enterprise. They have branches in all parts of the world, everywhere, in all the countries, all the cities. They do have branches, and you will be having a center close by in your city, right? So in Philippines, I am sure you can look for a view center, or you can go to their website and find where the centers are. You have already paid for the exam. You can select any time during the next 1 year to sit in the exam. When you decide to sit in the exam, you must follow the process given in the eligibility letter. You can go to the website of VIEW, and there you can log in with your PMI credentials provided to you, and you can book your exam on any day you want. Normally, they will book you on a working day, and timing is of your own choice. But the question is there space available in the exam center for you? If it is already fully booked, then you may not get a date on your desired day. Maybe you can check the next day or the next day. It's a complete calendar available there. So whenever there are slots available and it is the time of your desire, you can lock the slot. You will be booked for the exam on that date, and you can take your credentials along and show them and enter the exam hall. That is a computer-based test. There would be many people appearing in the exam, maybe, and not necessarily all are not going for PMP. Somebody would be doing the IELTS exam, somebody will be doing TOEFL exam, somebody would be doing some other certification exam. So everybody is not going there for only PMP. There are so many other certification exams and professional exams going on. So you would be sitting there, all silent, good, nice environment, and you can write your exam. This is going to be around 3 hours and 40 minutes exam. And yes, please.
No, sorry, I'm just taking note. 3 hours, 40 minutes exam.
Yeah, 3 hours, 40 minutes. And actually, if you include the breaks, it will take total of 4 hours. You are allowed to have 2 10-minute breaks, right? So you can take those breaks, and then you can complete the exam. So it will take total of 4 hours for your exam. If you qualify the exam, just after you complete the exam, in a couple of minutes, you will be shown the result. The result would be shown on screen, and it would only tell you whether you pass or you fail. That's all. They don't tell you any percentages, any problems, nothing. They just tell you that you have passed or you have failed, right? If you fail, only in that case, they may provide you the areas of weakness from the your course content outline. That you are weak in leadership, or you are weak in execution of the project or something like that. But that even does not tell you that why did you not get enough marks in that area. How many marks did you get in there? You don't know. You won't know the percentages. You will just know that you are weak in certain areas. But anyways, I am not banking on that. I am sure you are going to pass the exam, and naturally you will get the message that you have passed it. You have, as soon as you pass it, you can consider yourself as a PMP. Although PMI will know it a little later, so within a few days, for 4 to 5 days, PMI will confirm that you have passed, and then they will send your certificate and other things accordingly. So you can, from the day you have passed the exam, from that day onwards, you are granted the credential of a PMP. You can write it with your name, and that is valid for 3 years. You can use the PMP credential for 3 years, and then you have to renew it. If you don't renew it, it will be, it will be gone. And there is a very easy process. How can you renew it? You don't have to reappear in the exam. You just have to fulfill certain criteria. And if you have that criteria, and that is very simple, you have to gain 60 professional development units during these 3 years. One professional development unit is like 1 hour of training or experience or something on project. So you have to show 60 hours of effort in 3 years to renew your PMP credential. And the best way of doing it is you attend a training, maybe 20 hours per year. If you take a training course of 3 days, 8 hours a day, it will give you around 21 PDUs. And you can do 3 courses in 3 years, and you will have all the 60 PDUs ready. There are many other ways of gaining the PDUs. You will learn about them later, but you have to have these 60 PDUs completed by the end of those 3 years, and then you can apply for renewal of your PMP. They will take a little fee, like something like $60 or something. I'm not sure. They keep changing the rates. So I'm not discussing how much is the PMI membership fee, how much is the exam fee, how much is the renewal fee. But the figure which is at the top of my mind, it is $60 after every 3 years to renew your PMP. The membership is around $129 per year, and PMP exam, I'm sure it is now, they have reduced it, but when I last checked it, it was for $555 for non-members and $405 for members. I'm sure when you go to PMI website, you will find that they have drastically reduced that as well, right? So this is a higher value I might be telling you, but actually it would be less. So this is about your journey to PMP certification. You can then keep renewing it after every 3 years, and you can maintain it forever. I did my PMP back in year 2000. Now it is 25 years, and I have been renewing it continuously, never let it go, go down. And I have been renewing it. I have been learning more things, and I'm updating my knowledge all the time. As far as the learning resources are concerned, PM Training School must have provided you with some material, some links. Did you get an email from Dr. Faz Rasool from PM Training School regarding the various materials?
He sent an email, but I don't have the link. I don't have the link, so I've already sent a follow up to ask.
Okay.
So it can't be sent again.
His staff in New Zealand will probably provide you an email, and in that you will have access to this material. You will have the student workbook provided to you, which is a kind of a booklet which tells you everything, all the topics which are being covered. They are briefly described there. Then the second resource is the presentation slides. They are in form of handouts. So the handout is also in a PDF format. This is the slides you will get. These are the default slides provided by PMI. What I am teaching you, I may have added a couple of things here and there. But the class handouts you get, you may not have certain things which I have included myself, right? But anyways, that does not matter. The basic course handouts are going to be available with you. Then, if you are a PMI member, you will have free access to all the standards of PMI, right? I would very strongly recommend that you download these 3 standards from there, and you will get them a personalized copy of them. Not hard copy, but electronic copy in PDF. But that would be only you can log into it, and on every page of the standard, it is your membership number and name written on it, right? So you can't share it with anyone. Even if you print it out, you can't share it with anyone. This is for your personal use. This is the standard, a guide to the project management 7th edition, right? And this standard is most important for you because this actually tells you everything about project management, right? But you see, in this standard, things have changed a bit, and now we are looking at project management not only from the traditional waterfall model, but also from agile and hybrid thing. But earlier than that, before the 7th edition, till the 4th edition or 5th edition, PMI has been exclusively talking about a predictive approach. They did not talk about agile very much. So now that in PMBOK 7th edition, they have discussed everything. So the emphasis on the predictive approach has slightly reduced. The details which were there in the predictive are there in 7th edition, but they are not very explained in detail. If you want to study that, this is another standard. You must download it. This is exclusively for the traditional predictive project management procedures, processes. This is a practice guide. You can download this. This will be purely predictive. And
Sorry, the standard plus, Suhail, is that the one that's purely predictive?
say again,
Which standard is the one that's purely predictive?
this is the main standard. This is the primary reference.
Um, Wait, sorry. Are you pointing to somewhere because I cannot see
Can you see that? No,
the pointer? I cannot. So
you
wait. So
can't.
just
You
to
can't see the pointer.
yeah.
Very strange. Now can you see it?
There, the green. That is not. It was
This
there,
is the
but
standard. This is a primary standard. This is the latest standard.
the R4.
R4 is uh, kind of a part of the standard in more detail. That is the predictive, how the predictive traditional project management is done. All
Okay,
the
okay,
processes of that are defined in more detail in this
okay,
standard.
okay,
Then if you want to go in more detail about agile, then there is a third standard, R5.
okay.
That is Agile Practice Guide. But these are not compulsory. This one is compulsory.
The R3.
R3. That is
Okay.
compulsory. That naturally the student workbook and class handouts you get, they are also very important to you. But if at
Mm-hmm.
all you want to clarify certain things, you want to go into detail about predictive, you can consult this standard. And if you want to go in detail about agile, you can consult this standard. But generally speaking, I would be covering almost everything in quite a bit of detail.
Okay.
Last but not the least is the exam simulator. PM Training School has created their own simulator, a very comprehensive simulator with thousands of questions. So before you go to the exam, you must do extensive testing on this simulator. You will have an open access to that. There are many kinds of exams available there. The exams are available on lesson basis, on chapter basis, or maybe on a mini PMP exam, kind of 30-35 questions on the pattern of the actual exam, which are randomly selected. And uh, then we have got full length exams, 180 question exam papers. There are more than 8 such detailed full length questions papers available. So there is extensive material for you to test your knowledge before you sit in the exam. I do not recommend you do all the questions, but you do at least 2 to 3 full length exams, all the chapter exams, and some of the mini exams, right? Uh, and you don't start doing them until you have learned something. Once you complete a chapter, then on that chapter you test your knowledge by chapter exams. Once you have done all the preparation, then you can go for mini exams. But in the last week of exam, you must attempt at least 3 full-length exam papers.
Okay.
I hope that makes sense.
Yep, it makes sense. May I know where I can get the links from Dr. Faiz?
PM Training School will provide you the link. They will generate a login access for you, and through that you can get into their Moodle account, PM Training School, and you will have access to all of these things. Even they will have videos also available on each topic.
Okay.
It's a very rich material. After you have attended this class, although this is quite sufficient, but they have provided a lot of material on their site, which you will have access all the time.
Okay.
Moreover, if at all, whatever I am doing, I am recording your training lessons, right? And if you need, I can share that with you as well. That would be more personalized,
Yes,
right?
please.
But that
Thank
is
you.
between you and me. I can share it with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Uh, when you are filling your application, uh, it is a very long application. There are not many things they ask. Initially, they will ask some particulars about you, your address, your experience, and then they will ask you, there will be a separate page for your educational achievements. So if you have got more than one degrees, you probably will have to fill each one of those, right? But that is not really very important. The important is the experience. When it comes to experience, if you have more than one experiences, for each experience, you will get a page like this. And you have to fill in your experience, like, what was the project title, which was the organization, what was your job title on that project, whom were you reporting to functionally, and what was the primary focus of the organization, and which was the methodology you were using. Was it predictive methodology or hybrid or agile? How big was your team in the project? How much was the budget for this project? And when did the project start? And when did the project finish? If the project did not finish, it is still in progress. You can tick here, right? You can tick here in progress, and you may not provide end date. This is the portion where you have to give a write-up about the project. It has to be a brief write-up. It could be from 200 to 500 words, not more than that, not less than that. And a sample has been provided on the right-hand side. This is a very good approach that you can divide your description into small paragraphs with proper headings. And if you can provide your experience in these headings, it would be nice. Otherwise, people write continuously, and it is really very difficult for the reader to understand what you are trying to say. In a one long paragraph, in one long stanza, you are trying to give out everything, and some of things those things are not even relevant. So if you can focus on economy of words, probably structure it in this manner. This could be available to you. You can seek guidance on that, and you can write your experiences like that. In case you need any help while you are filling your application, PM Training School will help you. They will even help you create your application. They can do it by themselves. Their staff member will get in touch with you, and they will guide you through until your application is approved, right? But again, I would say that if you face any problem, you have any doubts about your application, I am always there to review your application and guide you, mentor you on that. But naturally, you will get all the support from PM Training School, right? So this is how your experiences are listed there. Uh, Then if at all you get audited, you will receive a format like this. This is the format which will be sent out to all of the people who may be from your different projects or your educational institute, and they just have to fill this thing. You must understand it is not a very complicated thing, but this is what they have to fill. They have to verify with yes or a no that the experience you have shown is correct. Number one. Number two, if they think that you have provided the wrong information, they will give their description here. Nothing else is provided by them. A simple yes or no, and then they just provide their information and sign it. That's all. That's all. So if you can coordinate with them already, then probably you can warn them that you may get audit and you have to fill it online, and you will receive that message. I will also let you know, and then you will have to provide that detail. That's it. So it is not a very complicated process. It's a very simple process. Okay. Before I can proceed ahead with the format of the exam, if you like, we can have a little break of 10 minutes.
Yep, that will help. Yes, please.
Okay, fine. So we will have a 10-minute break.
I can get water.
I don't know what's the problem.
We start the break.
Break is not starting. I don't know what is the problem.
Okay.
Let me try it again. Yeah, the break has started. We'll see you after 10 minutes. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
See you. Thank you, Suhail. See you in 10 minutes.
टर्न्स हैं एक्चुअली मोर इम्पोर्टेंटली हमारे पास सॉवरेंटी है, इज्जत नफ्स है। हमारे पास एक मुल्क है जो जैसा भी है हमारा है, तुम्हारा नहीं है और ना कभी होगा। इंडिया में जो एक डेंजरस किस्म का जो एक पाकिस्तान के ऊपर एक जो ट्रोप बन गया है, ये स्पेशली पिछले 10-15 सालों में बना है। इसमें इनकी पूरी एक इंटेलेक्चुअल जो एलीट है वो डीपली इन्वॉल्व है। ये पहले तो हमें कल्चरली हमें नहीं मानते, पसंद नहीं करते। अब कल्चरली आप किसी को ना पसंद करें, इसका कुछ किया नहीं जा सकता, क्योंकि 1000 साल इन पे मुसलमानों ने रूल किया है। तो वो एक जो इनका विचारों का जो एक कॉम्प्लेक्स है वो हटा नहीं सकते। वो जब किसी ने आपके ऊपर 1000 साल रूल किया हो, आप कुछ कर नहीं सकते ना, वो 1000 साल की बात है। आपका मौकिफ होगा अखंड भारत का, मगर 1000 साल होता है। अब वो 1000 साल को खत्म तो नहीं कर सकते, वो ताजमहल को ऑरेंज तो नहीं पेंट कर सकते ना ये। तो वो उसका कुछ नहीं कर सकते। तो पहला मसला जो होता है आपको कल्चरल होता है। तो कल्चरल तरीके से आप तनकीद कर सकते हैं, जो करते हैं, फ्लैट नहीं लेने देते, गोश्त नहीं खाने देते, फलानी चीज नहीं करने देते, क्रिकेट नहीं खेलने देते, जो भी है। तो ये कल्चरली एक तो इनका जो कल्चरल फर्क है मुसलमानों के साथ, एक तो वो है, ये नंबर वन है। मगर ये एक हद तक ही कर सकते हैं क्योंकि ऑन पेपर ये सेक्युलर है। दूसरा जो ये ऑब्वियसली डोमिनेट करना चाहते हैं वो है मिलिटरीली। अब टू बी ऑनेस्ट एंड टू बी फेयर, पहली जंगों में पाकिस्तान ने इनसे मार खाई है, मगर अब चीजें बदल गई हैं। स्पेशली पिछली दिहाई में चीजें बदल गई हैं। पाकिस्तान की फौज, पाकिस्तान की एयरफोर्स थोड़ी सी टफ हो गई है, एक्सपीरियंस्ड हो गई है, निजाम भी बदल गया, टेक्नोलॉजी भी बदल गई है। तो उस हिसाब से अब ये फौजी तौर पे भी मार खा रहे हैं। तो ये एक तरफ कल्चरली स्टक है, अब ये फौजी तौर पे, अस्करी तौर पे, मिलिटरीली भी स्टक है। अब तीसरा, जब स्टक हो गए हैं इन दोनों पे खड़े हो गए हैं, कुछ हो नहीं सकता, एक तो 1000 साल एक तरफ पीएफ दूसरी तरफ, तो तीसरा क्या बनता है? तीसरा इनकी डिफॉल्ट सेटिंग है। मेरे अब्बू के पास ज्यादा पैसे हैं, तुमने मुझे मारा होगा मगर मैं तुमसे पूरी तुम्हारी बिल्डिंग खरीद सकता हूं। ये मौकिफ है, स्कूल यार्ड बुलीज का मौकिफ है कि पैसे ज्यादा हैं। यार पैसे तेरे होंगे ज्यादा, बटवा तेरा होगा मोटा, डंडा मेरा ज्यादा मोटा है। ठीक हो गया? अब आगे जाके फिर से अगर रिस्पॉन्ड करना है तो कर देना, मगर पहले इसको भी आप देख लें। ये सुशांत सरीन है, इसकी अगर आप डिस्क्रिप्शन देखें, ये सीनियर फेलो है इंडिया की लीडिंग थिंक टैंक का, ओआरएफ का। ठीक है, कहता है कि मैं ऑब्सेसिव पाकिस्तान वॉचर हूं, अफगानिस्तान, कश्मीर, टेररिज्म, इस्लामिज्म, हिस्ट्री बफ बट स्टडीड इकोनॉमिक्स। ये अपना तारुफ ये करवाता है, ये इनके शोज पे आता है, इनके टीवी पे आता है, इनके पॉडकास्ट पे आता है। ये कहता क्या है पाकिस्तान के बारे में? कहता है व्हाट द लो IQ inbred Punjabi, Muslim and their Sindhi Pashtun serfs don't understand is that India has taken a clear stand that we will hit you and keep hitting you. No loss will dissuade us from hitting you even harder. We will keep coming for you if you export terrorists. Now this is really rich. ये दो चीजें दिखाता है। एक तो हिंदुस्तान की जो इंटेलेक्चुअल एलीट है, जिस तरीके से पाकिस्तानियों को फ्रेम करती है कि हम मुसलमान हैं, हम पंजाबी हैं, पंजाबी टॉप पे हैं, उनके नीचे उनके जो नौकर हैं वो सिंधी हैं और पठान हैं। ये सिंधी और पठानों को पंजाबियों का नौकर बना दिया। बलोच जो है वो अपनी ही अलग एक कौम है, जैसे पाकिस्तान का ऐसा नहीं है। और हम सब मुसलमान हैं और हम सब जाहिल हैं और हमें समझ नहीं आ रही कि आप हमें बार बार मारेंगे। ये एक इंटेलेक्चुअल एलीट थिंक टैंक के इनके एनालिस्ट सीनियर फेलो है ये बंदा, ये ऐसी बातें खुल के करते हैं। अब इमेजिन कि अमेरिका के किसी थिंक टैंक का बंदा खुल के ऐसी बात करे कि इन रूसियों को समझ नहीं आ रही कि ये जो है अमेरिका जो है वो इनको बार बार मारेगा। अभी हमने इनके ड्रोन्स जो है
Lala, are you back?
Yes, I'm back, Suhail.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so we continue. I was going to talk about the PMP exam format. As you see, we have got 180 questions in the exam, and that is to be completed in 230 minutes to complete the exam. I'm not sure why it is 230 minutes. Yeah, you are right. 230 minutes is the exam time, but you could take another break of 10 minutes. Actually, the total time is 4 hours, that is 240 minutes. 10-minute break is mandatory, and you can take another 10-minute break in your own time, right? So you could take these two breaks, but actually the exam, physical exam time will be 230 minutes, and the total time, including all the breaks, is 240 minutes, that is 4 hours. This test can be taken in an exam center on a computer base. It could also be taken from your home. If you can try to do it on your home, then you will be proctored online, meaning your invigilator would be sitting on the other side looking at you on a camera and using mic to instruct you. But if you are sitting in the exam center, naturally it is automatically proctored. So center-based test and computer-based test. Computer-based test means you are appearing from the home. And there is a third type of test which may not be suitable for you because it is only for those countries where either of the other two types are not available. Like in Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, in these countries, they don't have any centers. They don't have internet, and on the computer-based exam is also not possible. So they conduct paper-based exams in those places. But anyways, that is not for you. So that is your choice to go for either a computer-based or a center-based. I don't know what is the situation of internet in Philippines, but I know one thing, that in most of the countries, internet is not really very reliable. When internet is not reliable and you are trying to appear in the exam from your home, and if anything goes wrong in the network and you disconnect from the exam, there is a high likelihood that PMI will not take the responsibility. You will lose the money, right? In that case, center-based testing is much safer because PMI has allocated this responsibility to VUE, Virtual University Enterprise, and they will actually be conducting your test. And if at all there is something wrong, they will give you another opportunity to appear in the exam or things like that. So it is always safe to go for a center-based exam. But if you think that there is no problem with internet and you can test it out, if it is fine, then you can even go for that. That is more comfortable. You are appearing from your exam, from your home or your workplace, anywhere. Anyways, the questions in the exam are of multiple types. The various types of questions. Let us discuss those types. Generally speaking, there will be multiple choice questions, there will be multiple response questions, there will be matching questions, hotspot questions, fill in the blanks, and things like that. But let me show you some examples of each one of these types. So you could have a true-false question. This I missed out in the previous slide. It did not talk about a true-false. So there are 6 types of questions could be there. True-false, multiple choice where only one answer is correct, multiple response where more than one answer is correct, drag and drop are matching questions. That is, you have to place the right thing at the right place. There might be boxes and you have to drag and draw certain things there. There could be a fill in the blank question, not a very lengthy one, but a limited fill in the blank. And then we have got another type of question, which is called a hotspot question. You are given a diagram and you have to point on the diagram at the right point and right place where the value goes high or whatever, as the question says. So let me show you. True false question I have already shown you, like this. This was a true false question, right? And then we have got a multiple choice question. A multiple choice question, the the format is like that, the question statement is then there are options given, and you can note that we have got rounded radio buttons on the left hand side. If you click this one, you can only click one at a time. If you click here first and then you click on B, the mark from A will vanish and it will appear in B. So you can submit only one answer, A, B, C, or D, right? So for example, in this question, this was the right choice. So as soon as you click it, you can submit your question, your answer, and move on to the next question. Next is an example of a multiple response question. If there are more than one options correct in the options, then you will not see rounded buttons, but square buttons. And at the end of the question, it would be mentioned how many should you tick. So you basically, when you click on any one of these, a tick mark will appear there, right? So you can tick it like this. Naturally, the cross mark is not going to be there. It is going to remain blank, but the tick marks will be placed by you. This is multiple response. And as I said, at the end of the question, it clearly says how many of them should you tick. If it does not say, then you have to make your own decision. But generally speaking, normally they do tell you how many you have to tick. This is a drag and drop question. For example, in this question, it says on the left-hand side are some of the process groups of predictive project management, like planning, execution, monitoring and control, and initiation. These are some of the processes from stakeholder management. Where does these processes fit into, right? For example, identify stakeholders. Where will it be done in one of these? Planning, in execution, in monitoring and control, or in initiating? What do you think? When do you identify the stakeholders?
During planning.
Planning, okay. But actually, we will study initiation.
Initiating it.
It will be done in initiation. Where do you monitor engagement?
During monitoring and controlling.
Very good, very good. Where do you manage engagement?
During execution.
Very good. Where do you plan engagement?
During planning.
Good. And where do you control stakeholders?
Monitoring and controlling.
Very good. So this is how it will happen. You will have to drag and drop these items to the right boxes. And once you have done them all, your answer is submitted. You submit the answer.
Okay.
This is an example of a drag and drop question. Then we have an example of a fill in the blank, limited fill in the blank. This is a statement and there is a fill in the blank you have to fill in. Well, this seems like a very simple question. It is very simple. It is very easy. If you have studied it, you can very easily find out the right thing. But the problem is there. You have to write the right word. Maybe the thing you are thinking is right, but that is not exactly the word PMI thinks.
Yeah.
Right? And that word is not acceptable to them. That question may go wrong, but this is a risk in a limited fill in the blank because they don't give you any options to select from. Anyways, what do you think? Predictive projects are dash, while adaptive projects focus on team collaboration with stakeholders or customers. What could be the ideal word coming here?
A question. Is it just a word? It's not a phrase?
It could be a phrase. It could be a combination of 2 words or 3 words. Yes, of course.
Oh, wow. Okay. Maybe predictive projects are focused on the outcome.
Okay. Actually, the difference between predictive and adaptive is that predictive is plan driven or plan oriented, whereas adaptive is change-driven or change-oriented. Now, the question is, predictive projects are plan-driven or plan-oriented? Which should be the right answer? Both are right, but PMI might consider only one of them to be correct,
Wow.
right? So let us see what PMI says. PMI says plan-driven,
Oh,
right? But I have read it in the PMBOK. At some places, it has also mentioned plan-oriented.
this is tricky.
But naturally, plan-driven is a better choice, but you don't know what PMI is thinking about, what is the answer in their archive. So that is exactly the reason why fill in the blank is a little tricky. Then we have got the hotspot question. You could get a diagram. On top of the diagram, there could be a statement written. For example, well, you should have studied everything to understand from where this question is coming and what does it really mean. It says, click the area where the cost will increase the most. Now, it doesn't provide you any parameters about it, and you have to analyze it from the diagram. It is showing some kind of a S curve, two S curves, one in different color and other in different color. On the bottom, there are costs written. On the y-axis, we have got percentages written, and the graph, the S curves, one S curve is before mitigation and other is after mitigation. So you have to make a head and tail out of it. Mitigation is something which happens in risk management. So before you mitigated the risk, you were on the gray line, and the gray line was consuming the same, it was consuming more money. It was consuming $10,000 total, whereas after you have mitigated it, it is now consuming less money. But on the scale, comparing the two graphs, there on this graph, the cost is going to increase the most. Well, this might be a tricky question. You may not be able to, ascertain the right answer, but maybe it is asking you to compare the gap between these 2 points, and where the gap is most, maybe that is the right answer. Well, apparently all the gaps look very similar to each other. Then it's maybe we say that, okay, the cost is, if I compare this point, it has increased from 6,500 to 7,000. From here, it has increased from 7,000 to 7,500. And here it is like 7,500 to 7,700. And here it is 7,000, maybe 800 to 8,000, something like that, right? So you have to make your decision, right? I'm not getting into the debate what is right, what is wrong, but I'm just trying to show that I would do it something, whichever the choice I make, I will do this. Because I suppose that the highest price difference is from 0 point to A. This is the maximum distance the cost has increased. The cost has increased from A to B is very less, B to C is very less, C to D is very less, but from 0 point to A is the highest increase which I can visualize. But anyways, whatever the right answer is, this is it. So this kind of question is called a hotspot. You could get a graph, you could get a diagram, anything, and you have to kind of click at one place on that to answer your question. So these were the various types of questions you might be having in the exam. But I must tell you that most of the questions you will be getting would be multiple choice or multiple response. Other types of questions are going to be very less. They are not going to be very many. Few odd questions, true-false questions, few odd fill-in-the-blank questions, things like that. But most of the questions will be multiple choice or multiple response. Now, as far as we are concerned, we are going to conduct this course as PMI has designed it into 6 lessons. This lesson not included in that. This I call lesson number 0 or module number 0. This is just an introduction. First lesson is about business environment. Second lesson is about initiating or starting the project. Third lesson is about planning the project. Fourth lesson is about leading the team. That is, we are in execution and we are providing leadership to the team. And fifth lesson is about supporting the project team. Like, we are doing their performance measurements and we are doing monitoring and control, things like that. They are happening in lesson number 5. And at the end of the day, last lesson is going to be closing the project arc phase. These are the 6 lessons we are going to cover. Okay, some other guidelines about it. In this course, we would be using a lot many notations. As you might have judged from my previous discussion, a project could be done in many ways. It could be many approaches, but the prominent approaches could be, it could be a waterfall model or a predictive one, which could be represented by this symbol. And in a follow-up, you would see on every slide, you will find any of these symbols on the left-hand side, right? So if you find this sign, that will clearly mean that the whole slide is talking about, whatever the content of the slide is all about predictive. If it is this sign, it is all about adaptive. If it is this sign, it is all about hybrid. But if you find 2 signs together, like adaptive and hybrid, the material of that slide applies to both adaptive and hybrid, right? Or maybe you have this symbol and this symbol. That means on that slide, we are talking about predictive and hybrid, right? So this is as far as the life cycle icons are concerned. These are called life cycle icons: predictive, adaptive, or hybrid. Remember them. Predictive is like, arrows coming out of it. Adaptive is like continuously, you are doing something. And hybrid is you are doing things continuously, but yet there is an arrow as well. So it is a marriage between predictive and adaptive. So you have an arrow and you have a wheel, cog wheel. There are other icons we will be seeing on the slides. For example, if a slide is important, you might see this sign. If a slide needs some kind of interactive discussion with the student, like, I may ask some question or you may ask some question, this slide is like, this is the inquisition sign. This is an interactive sign. If you find this sign, that means that this slide needs discussion. Between the instructor and the student. Use expert judgment. If this slide is referring to some kind of expert judgment, the judgment sign is going to be there. If it is talking about some kind of tool or technique, the spanner sign is going to be there. If there is a question on the slide, the question mark would be there. If there is a group discussion required, like all the participants, right now you are the only participant, but if you are more than one participant, then probably we could leave you for say 5 or 10 minutes to discuss on our topic. So that means if this sign is on a slide, that means we need to have a discussion on that. And if there is something noteworthy, you have to make a note of that, then you may find this sign. Are you comfortable with all of these various conventions?
Yep.
One more thing, in some of the slides, you will see a book type signal sign on the left-hand side, like this one, right? Mm-hmm. And on that slide, there might be some statement written in blue color. That this is called a definition slider. The slide mentions something in blue. That means the definition of that is hidden in the slider, in the definition slider. If you see this sign and I don't tell you the definition, you can ask me to please click on this book. I'll click on that, and that will show the definition of project management. Like whatever was written in the blue is actually the definition appears on the left-hand side.
Okay.
Okay? So these are the conventions. One other thing, the materials you will get from PMI, or maybe you have gotten it already, that will include a case study. that is a specific case study developed by PMI and which will be referred throughout the lessons. It is about a Shoppe Industries project, which is Shoppe Lifestyle Center. In short, we call it SLC. It is not a real project, it is a fictional story. And the guy standing on the left is the project manager of that project, and his name is Ang Fen. And you will have opportunities to interact with Ang Fen throughout these lessons. And you may have to guide him or get some discussion with him. So you have to interact with him and the project team and other stakeholders. Just like Ang Fen, there are other characters also in the project. We will show them to you, like there is a sponsor, there is a product owner, there is a team is there, and a team lead is there, and things like that. So all of those people we will have to refer to. We may have to have some discussion on the case study. If you want to really participate in those discussions, I would say that when you receive the material, you must go through the whole case study very carefully. As if whenever we refer it, then you know what we are talking about. Okay, this brings us to the end of this first introductory portion, which I call lesson 0. So again, we can have a little break, and then we can start off with lesson number 1.
Okay.
Do you have any questions so far?
No. I think I just need to follow up on the course material so I can see
Of course.
the case study.
So we will start after 10 minutes, and the break starts now.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.